Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art, and I wanted to kind of get your take on this. So I'm just going to lay this out there. Um, I was listening to Libby Halevi's show, Nuclear Hot Seat, this week, and I usually listen to her show twice because, well, I normally listen to it twice, but especially now because I edit it for KEPW and take out her self promotion so it can go on their 5013C page. But then I always listen to it anyways. Usually her show has so much information, it's like jam packed, so I have to listen to it twice. This week on her show, this man was saying that there is more uranium on the planet than there is gold. So don't you, and then that explains, and then I was thinking about also how the Queen of England owns more than 1/3 of all the uranium on the planet. And I think I was reading that in Australia has like 1/3 of the world's largest uranium deposits. So that means that the Queen of England owns more uranium than anything else, than anyone else on the planet. She owns more uranium. And that uranium has no value except in nuclear weapons and in nuclear technology. And so the people that are behind maintaining the oligarchy and maintaining the non-democratically run governments, well, I guess they say that England is a democracy of some sort, but I don't quite get it when you have someone who takes most of your money and sits on her ass all day. But someone who's from England, please explain that to me. Right? But it occurred to me that the reason that we have nuclear weapons and nuclear technology is because that's what the Queen wants. I mean, we all know that our Constitution in the United States was copied almost directly from the British law. That is pretty commonly known. But this is an interesting little twist here when we think about the complete damage that nuclear waste and nuclear technology has done to our entire planet across the board. The United States looks like a nuclear wasteland between the nuclear test dumping sites, the open uranium mine pits, most of which are on Native American lands, the leaking nuclear power facilities, the few power facilities that have closed down that are leaking and God knows what. And now Trader Trump says we're not even going to inspect them. It's almost as if they want to have nuclear contamination. Or maybe there's just no regard for nuclear contamination. So this is kind of my question. I think that the Queen of England, because she owns the uranium, is the person behind like that whole push. I don't know if she's personally behind it, but her whole, as Prince Harry would say, the firm is behind it because they own it all. So like if we actually were to shut down the nuclear technology and force science to really understand this before we expand it, how much would those assets be worth? It's almost like coming in and saying that gold doesn't have any money, that it's not worth money. Like gold would have no value. That's what we would. So what they've done in the last 80 years is create value out of these uranium mines for themselves. They get rich. We all know this. Oh gosh, wish I could remember the name of that company. It's called. They have a Trump plan. What's it called? SERCO. I think it's called SERCO. The super secret I'm stumbling over my words. It's like this super secret mega corporation from England that basically has their fingers in everything. I'll dig that up. It's called SERCO, or I don't really remember. I interviewed Maya on my radio show about a year and a half ago, and after that, Ixnay, her family started getting followed again, so she's not going to come on, I think. And besides that, we parted ways because she believes in Trader Trump. She thought Trump was a great guy, and I think he has been a disgusting pig since, I don't know, probably 1996, when I heard him refer to teenage girls as the goods. That was the last time I heard the Howard Stern show. But anyways, what do you guys think? Like, I think that this whole uranium industry and the nuclear industry is propped up so that the Queen of England can maintain her mega wealth. And in fact, without regard to any of us peasants out here at all, like, the harm that it is causing our planet is uncontestable, actually. And it's incomprehensible. I mean, even in Canada, you know, we all have this idea that Canada is this pristine, beautiful place, right? But Canada has some big gaping uranium mines and the biggest nuclear power plant. Like, it's huge. The Bruce power plant is disgustingly huge. And then they complain, and then we hear all the time about the Native Americans being really sick, having diabetes, having all kinds of problems, but they eat the fish. They eat off of the land. And what's in their land now? Nuclear contamination that has just been denied. That's the thing. It's like, I mean, the one thing I have to say about the Chernobyl thing that went on, the Chernobyl miniseries, when we looked at it, I think that the Russians actually handled that relatively good. There was people who were mad because they didn't tell anybody for a while, but they never tell anybody. That's like standard procedure. Don't talk. Like, don't say it. You're not allowed to say it. That's what John Goffman got 86'd out. But John Goffman, Arthur Tamplin, and Linus Pauling. Linus Pauling, people forget Linus Pauling won a Nobel Peace Prize for proving that nuclear contamination or exposure to nuclear radiation causes fetal harm. And in fact, they've discovered that it's the most harm to infants inside the belly, the fetus. And what happens after the baby is born? You get diabetes, you get autism, autoimmune disease. What's the other one? I always can remember 3 pretty easy, but it's not cancer. Autoimmune, diabetes, schizophrenia. That's it. And, oh God. This happens all, it doesn't matter. You guys know what they are. But this is the prevalence of what we have. We have very high levels of diabetes. We have very high levels of schizophrenia. We have very high levels of autoimmune deficiencies. It's beyond comprehension that there are no studies, right? So why are there no studies? Who controls the industrial medical complex? It's the oligarchy at the top. Again, it's the Queen of England and her little gang, the firm. They don't want people to know all about this at all, because then all of their assets would be deemed meaningless if we really, really took a hold of this bull and tied it by the horn and pushed it down. They wouldn't have any more profit because the uranium mines would be virtually worthless like they used to be 200 years ago. So anyways, what do you guys think? I think that I'm onto something here. So talk to you guys later. Ciao.